Mueller, stuttering, stammering. They say there's euphoria at the White House. The Democrats got nothing out of Mueller testifying. And we're going to take a look at those 4 left-wing lunatic women that are now called the Squad. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. This is probably not the best show for little people because of these 4 congresswomen, and we need to know our enemy. We need to know what we're facing. So hang tight. If you've got small kids, you might want to get them out of the room. The other night, I asked for help with our upcoming trip to Detroit. If you can find better activists for this event, support them financially. Give them money. Because it takes money to go and to protest and to confront the evildoers and to call them out for child killing. It just takes funds. We're taking at least 10 people on our trip. And that means we have to feed them. It means we have to pay for fuel. It means we're going to have to look at housing. It means paying for staff, the people that are paid that are going. Not everyone is a volunteer. We need help. So here is a little window. What I'm about to show you reflects all of yesterday's incoming contributions, okay? So look, put it up on the screen. $50. $50. That's what came in to the ministry here when I sent out an email and I went on the air and said, hey, can you please help us financially? $50. That's not even 1 tank of gas. That can't even feed everybody for 1 meal at a fast food restaurant. So summer months are always bewildering. But I'm asking you, I'll ask again at the end of the show, but if you believe in what we're doing, if you want us to be in Detroit at the Democrat debates, calling them out for the killing of children, for their socialism, for the evil deeds, their promotion of horrific evils, I need help. It's just that simple. So you can go to the phone number, you can call there and make a contribution. You can say, hey, I'll send a check. You can go on, contribute online, whatever. All right. First, let's talk about these women. Now, recently, these 4 ladies have come to be called the Squad. Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Talib. These are the faces of the far, far left. I want to play for you a clip from a very recent speech where you see all of them on the stage. And here are the words of Yena Presley. All right. This is her in her own voice. She's talking about, a place at the table. And basically she's saying we want to get rid of the table. Listen to what she says.
A chair to an old table. This is the time to shake the table. This is the time to redefine that table. Because if you're going to come to this table, and for all of you that have aspirations of running for office, for whatever lived experience and identity that you represent, if you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. Come on, speak it. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up. Because we need you to represent that voice.
So, in case you can't read between those lines, if you're a black person and you don't come with a black voice, don't come. What does that mean? That means you have to be in lockstep. If you're African American, you have to be singing the party line of the left wing. Now, just go down through everything that she said, but one thing about it that's a little bit awkward. Could you see Rashida squirming? Put it up again. Just put the video up and look at Ilhan Omar. Look at her squirming. Look at her wringing her hands. Especially when she said, if you're a queer, come with a queer voice. Under Islamic law, which Ilhan Omar believes in, you execute homosexuals. That's current Islamic law. Okay, they don't have a New Testament. We know that the Old Testament and the scriptures called for the execution of homosexuals. In the New Testament, there's an abrogation of that. There's a reason why the church has held that this is no longer a capital crime. All right? We have Jesus saying to the woman taken in adultery, caught in adultery, which was a capital crime, Jesus said, "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone." That was the verse, the text verse, if you will, for not executing adulterers. So, but in Islamic law, they're still supposed to execute adulterers. They're still supposed to execute homosexuals. And Ilhan Omar is sitting there squirming while Presley is saying, "Come with a queer voice. Come with a Muslim voice." The queer voice says, "We want to have all these homosexual rights." The Muslim voice says, "We want you dead." Islamic law says you have to be executed. A little bit awkward. But to be more on point, they want lockstep. And if you are African American or brown or queer or whatever those things were, if you don't come with the Green New Deal, with the socialist plantation, they don't want you. Shut up. Stay away. That's what they're saying. I'm going to play one more clip so that we can move on from these ladies. This is a soundbite from Rashida Talib. They've removed the video. They've just scrubbed the web of it, but the audio was captured. So listen to this and then listen to the Speaker of the House. Here you go.
We're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the mother.
I don't really like that kind of language, but more to the point, I disagree with what she said. It is too early to talk about that intelligently.
I'm not in the censorship business. I don't think that, I don't like that language. I wouldn't use that language, but I don't think it's anything worse than what the president has said.
So here we have a freshman congresswoman, and there are people who are offended by the language. The point is, in a public setting, there are a lot of people that say a lot of things, but in a public setting, this is not appropriate language to use around children about the President of the United States. And then she could have even just eaten a little spoonful of humble pie and said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't appropriate." Not a word. And then Nancy Pelosi, not a word of rebuke. So President Trump, let me take a break. And we'll talk about President Trump and these four people. And who's really the racist here? Don't go away. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. I hate beating a dead horse, but I have to, because so much is at stake. Google, the search engine company of Google, literally made it almost impossible to pick up Miss Presley's comments about we need a black voice. It was almost not findable. I had to search for probably 10 minutes, different word queries, and it should pop right up. They have people inside of Google that change the algorithms so that when you put in words that normally would bring something up, it just doesn't come up. And I saw this happen with myself in the last 48 hours. When my boys and I were at the Trump rally in North Carolina just a week ago, all right, when the president doubled down on them, on those women being racist, and the crowd was chanting, send her home and all that. When you typed in the words, CNN sucks, at the top of a Google search, 15 or 20 links came up to the boys singing. Just CNN sucks, and there it was, the boys, my son, singing the song that we wrote, CNN sucks. Once it came out a day later in The Atlantic, a very prestigious magazine, that it was me and my sons, because the original link didn't identify anyone. They didn't know it was us. So hundreds of thousands of people are watching this saying, who are these guys? Who are these kids? Somebody sign them. Who are they? Who are they? And then The Atlantic broke who it was. So then Jezebel, a left-wing website, said, this is the extremist terrorist, Randall Terry, and his son, they came unglued. Google took that and put it at the top of the search. So if you put in CNN sucks, the first thing that came up was the Jezebel story. And then all those other links, they went away. You had to change your search. They don't want people to know what's going on. If you put in Hillary's emails, see how long it takes you to find the fact that she committed a criminal act by destroying 30,000 emails. Are you hearing me? They are so hell-bent on manipulating us and having us look like the bad guys, and these crazy left-wingers look like the bad guys, that when the left-wingers look so stupid and ridiculous and evil and full of malcontent, they are literally keeping that away from the American people. So when you see Rashida Talib's comment about we're going to impeach, the MF, President Trump, the video is gone. You can't find it. That's Google people. That's web people that are trying to alter the election that's coming up. It's not just that they're altering history. It's not just that they're altering contemporary issues. They are trying to alter the coming election. So back to President Trump and these four crazy women. They're actually not crazy. They're evil. There is a difference. They're evil. They're evildoers. They're what the Bible calls evildoers. President Trump is not letting go, and he shouldn't. Politically, he needs to just keep hammering them and letting their quotes come out over and over again. Because the more people see them, the more Democrats and moderates and independents see those women as the face of the Democrat Party, it will ensure that President Trump is reelected, and it will ensure that the Republicans take back the House. Because the question is really simple. Do you want these four women running the House of Representatives? Do you want them deciding how your tax money is spent? Governor Cuomo up in New York is on some crazy path to outlaw all fossil fuels by 2050. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to get the details wrong. But he's in the middle of something insane right now, where he is going to make it mandatory that the whole state of New York, all of New York City, is run by non-fossil fuels, zero-emission fuels, zero-emission cars. This is insanity. Now, people are going to leave New York in droves. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania is building more and more power plants fueled by natural gas. And New York is going to outlaw them. And they're going to outlaw them and make it wind and solar, battery, for the whole state of New York. The Empire State. I used to live there. I was born and raised there. Such an incredible history, politically, economically. But these people, they're crazy. Oh, Lord, have mercy on us. President Trump needs to just go ahead and keep tying the Democrat Party to this squad, the fraud squad, the Jezebel squad, the voodoo squad. I want to call them the voodoo squad because they're just trying to have voodoo and have people that are totally mesmerized by them so that they'll vote for them, so that they'll believe in their crazy agenda. what's frightening to me is the millions of young people who are unintelligent enough, stupid enough, deceived enough, twisted enough in their own souls that they would think that these 4 women are heroes, heroines to be followed, to be mimicked. God have mercy on us. All right, I'll be right back. Please don't go away. Talk a little bit about Mueller.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. All right, so Robert Mueller testified before Congress. Everyone's going to have some kind of a takeaway, especially since he indicated that maybe President Trump could be indicted after. Wait, stop. Can you deceitful person. Let's say that someone accused you of murder. Okay, you didn't commit the murder, but they accuse you of murder. And you are being investigated for murder all over the place. You didn't commit the crime. And then you start saying, don't talk to these people. I didn't do anything. Is that obstruction of justice? You didn't commit the murder. So how could it be? I mean, use common sense. There's no underlying crime. So to obstruct justice would mean that the fact that you committed this murder was found out. Obstructing justice would mean you're trying to hide the murder. If you didn't commit a crime and you're screaming your lungs out, this is horrible, this is false, I'm being falsely accused. These people, can I fire them? Can somebody please fire this cop? Somebody fire this prosecutor? How can that possibly be obstruction of justice when you didn't commit the crime? All right, here's the political upside to all this. Number one, Mueller looked like an idiot by all accounts. He was contradicting his own report. The congressmen were finding him in complete disagreement with what his own report said. He looked dazed and confused, okay? There was no stellar moment that the Democrats can run with, but it's better than that. What do we have, like 14 months to the election now? Was it 14, 15? At least 15 months to the election. The Democrats are out of juice on this, okay? That just doesn't, it can't continue as a talking point. They're not going to impeach him, and he's not going to be indicted because he didn't commit any crime. The whole Russian hoax was a hoax. There was never any collusion. It was a lie from day one, paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign with their fake dossier. So for this to be an ongoing talking point of the Democrats is self-destructive on their part. Not to mention that Attorney General Barr has a full-blown investigation going on, and he told Mueller to stay away from because of the open investigation into the false FISA requests, the going to the FISA court and asking to spy on then President or then candidate Trump. That was all done illegally, all right? There was criminal intent there. They lied to the courts to get a search warrant. That is a criminal act. There are people in the FBI who may be indicted for their crimes that are real crimes, trying to frame someone for something he didn't do, lying to the courts, lying in an affidavit, sworn affidavits that the information they were giving the courts was true. So the Democrats are in trouble, people. But I'm talking spiritually now. No, let me take a break, and I'm going to come at this from a spiritual angle before we go. Please stay with me. Please don't go away. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, "What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. There is a spiritual dynamic that must be addressed. I lived inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C. for 3 years. I organized protests against John Boehner, Speaker of the House, Republican. I organized a protest, a sit-in, where people were arrested at Speaker Gingrich's office, Newt Gingrich, when he was the Speaker of the House. I've gone after Governor Pataki when he was a Republican governor of New York. Our commitment to Jesus Christ and to the principles of the Word of God must be nonpartisan, must be above partisan politics, okay? It must be. But there's something about partisan politics that is also inherently spiritual, and it matters to God, and that is that the Democrat Party as an entity has embraced the two top sins that cry out to God for vengeance: the shedding of innocent blood and sodomy, homosexual marriage. This is a part of the very fiber of the Democrat Party. And there are tens of millions of Christians right now. The largest block is Roman Catholics, and then tons and tons of Protestants. Actually, there's more Protestants who are Democrat than Catholics, but the single biggest denomination is Roman Catholic. Voting for Democrats. These candidates have blood on their hands. I am so proud of my wife. My wife used to work on Capitol Hill. She works for the United States Senator from New Hampshire, Bob Smith, a good, godly Christian man. And when they were trotting Christy Todd Whitman around, the former Republican governor of New Jersey, to have her be the, head of Department of Energy or something, Christy Todd Whitman was being taken to all the senators' offices to, get votes to be confirmed. And she came in to shake everyone's hand. My wife, who was on Senator Smith's staff, would not shake her hand, wouldn't get out of her seat. And Christy Todd Whitman was holding her hand, and my wife said, "I'm pro-life." And the governor said, "Well, that's okay." And my wife just raised an eyebrow to her, and she realized, this woman is not going to shake my hand because I'm a pro-choice person, pro-abort, baby killer. That's what I say. And Christy Todd Whitman was so freaked out, she turned on her heels and walked out of the office. My wife was working for a Republican, and she said no to a fellow Republican who had blood on her hands. People, I don't understand somebody who can't do the simple math that these people promote the murder of babies. And if you vote for them, if your friends, your family members, your people, your friends at church, if they vote for people who are child killers, then they are voting for people with blood on their hands. And what does that make of our bloods when we put, or our hands, when we put our hands in their hands that are covered with blood? Please help us as we go to Detroit to confront these Democrats. Go to the website, call the number on the screen, and donate, please.